Welcome back. So in last few videos, we have completed the setup of all the tools and software that we need for building the apps. And now we are ready for the prime time, which is building the application. And this is what exactly we are going to do. So let's jump in. So the name of our first application is a Stock Analyst. So this application takes a stock symbol as input and it conducts a fundamental analysis on the stock, and then it prepares and presents a in-depth detailed report. So if you look at by functionality, it's not very complex app. It's a very simple application, but that's not the point. Point is that this application contains all the necessary component that's required for any LLM based application. So this will give us a very strong foundation, and based on that we'll be able to build more complex application in future videos. So let's first have a look at this app and see how it looks and what it does. So here is our app. Let me just run it. So I'll provide Apple as a stock symbol and run it. Give it a few seconds and it should do its magic. Okay, so here's the output. Basically, it has conducted the fundamental analysis based on its knowledge base that was provided to it at part of its training, and it has provided all the headings and basically all the aspect that an investor will need to invest in a stock. And obviously this is not investment advice, so you should not just take it and invest. So it's just for educational purposes. And it has also provided a reference from where it's picking up this data to be included in the report, right? Now let's talk about the interface first. On the left side, you see this a panel. It can be collapsed. The input where we provide the stock. There is a style which is a drop down. Now I've provided two options. One is professional, which is the plain one. There is another playful one. We'll try next after this. Then this button is the one where we trigger the analysis. Clear output is obviously it clears the output so that you can run it next time. And there is another button that appears once the output is there. So this is if you click, then it downloads a report in PDF format. So you can open it. It's the same thing, but in PDF format. Okay. Now, if I click clear output, it clears the output, and then let me change it to playful. And so basically this is the tone. I'm telling the model to provide the output in a little bit playful or colorful manner. We can give it different styles, like right now I have not included like be funny or humorous, but this subject matter stock analysis is very dry, so I don't know what it can do. So let's just run it once more in playful mode. Give it a few seconds. Come on. Okay, here it is. So what is done is okay. So it has provided some emojis to make it more colorful. Okay, it's the same, similar report, not same. Here you will see a button which is to copy the content here. So if I copy it, then I can go to any word editor. Here I've got an online notepad and I can paste it. So you see this output is in markdown format. So any editor or any viewer which can display the markdown, you can just paste it, and then the whole output is available to you in a very flexible format, and you can change it as well. So if you want to add some pictures and everything and change it and then generate as a PDF. So pretty flexible in that way. Next is at the bottom, you can see that there is an option to change the settings. So right now I am in light mode, so you can change it to dark mode if you want. So that's possible, and this is coming from a tool called Gradio. We will look at Gradio in detail later on. Right now we are not going to look at it. Right. So that's about it. And it's a pretty simple app. But what it's doing is not simple. So if somebody asks to prepare a analysis report for a stock, there's a lot of data you have to drill through and find the details and then format it. And factually that has to be correct. So in a single shot, it's doing it. So in terms of functionality, it's not much, but in terms of value, it is definitely a useful app. So yeah, so this is the what exactly app we are going to build next. So our app is all about stock analysis. So it takes input as stock symbol, and then it conducts a fundamental analysis and presents a report based on that analysis. Now, around this simple idea of taking a very simple input, conducting some kind of research or analysis, and presenting an output, we can have various useful simple apps created. For example, some of the ideas that comes to my mind is creating a movie critic. So this app will take a movie name as input, and it will present a critical view of the movie, kind of movie reviewer, right? Another example could be a book review. So you can give it a name of a famous book, well-known book, and then the app will go ahead and presents its view that what it thinks about the book, right? Similarly, market research assistant. So for example, in this case, app can take input as one product, and maybe it reviews the product, pros and cons, pricing, and how it competes with the competitor in the market. Or you can extend it to have two inputs. So it takes input as one product, and as is competition as second product, and compare and contrast. For example, very famous example is in cola war, right? Pepsi and Coke. So you can give Pepsi and Coke as two inputs, and then app will go ahead and compare and contrast and present its view based on the input you have provided. Another example could be a tour guide. So you can give a name of a city, and then the app can go ahead and plan the whole tour for you. You can give another parameter like how many days you have for this tour, and then it can plan the whole tour for you, right? And there are many more. So very simple idea, simple input, and then it can produce output that can be very valuable, right? Now let's go back to our app. So we have seen how the app looks, what it does, right? Let's dive deep into how it's built. So here is the example of, it is a very generic example where user will be presented with a front end, which is user interface. User will interact with the interface, and the interface and behind the scene works with another system, typically known as backend. It could be anything. It could be database based system. It could be another applications talking to. It could be application hosted on cloud, and it's talking using API. In our case, this backend is LLM, right? So we are talking to a large language model behind the scene. So this is a not typical to this app. It's a very generic architecture nowadays used in all modern applications. So this is how the conceptual design at abstract level it looks. Now let's go even deeper. So in our case, at a very high level, this is how the app is broken down. So one part is obviously the user, so interacting with our app, and this UI is actually in our case is a web application. Okay. I'll come back to these orange parts, what they are later. And then our UI, which is a web application. In previous slide, we saw that UI is directly talking to LLM, but in our case, that's now it's happening. It's possible, it's very well possible that you can write a front-end code that can directly connect with LLM. LLMs provide their own APIs, which we discussed already in, I think, video 2. Link is in the description below, so you can check that out. Every LLM provider provides their own set of API through which you can connect. But in our case, we are going to use a LLM framework, which is called LangChain. And the reason for using it is it's a pretty popular framework because it abstracts away all the nitty-gritty and details of the API. Even though the API across various providers, for example, OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini from Google, right, and Microsoft provided large language model. Nowadays, the APIs are unified, but still there are some differences the how they work. So if you have built an application using OpenAI and then if you want to switch it to Anthropic, then probably you need to make some changes to your application and retest it. And LangChain, what it does, it takes care of all those switching. So all the logic and the code is built into LangChain. It's a well tested, very popular framework. So we need not worry about how the API provided by OpenAI is different compared to Anthropic, and the switching, as you'll see when we'll build it, it's pretty simple, just single word change. You just change the model name and it just switches automatically. We don't have to do anything. So that's the benefit of LangChain. So that's one of the benefit. Apart from talking to LLM and helping us construct application around LLMs, LangChain comes with loaded with a lot of other very useful tools. For example, if I have to consume data from Excel file, from PDF or from database, so it comes with tools called loaders, through which I do not have to worry about writing code to read PDF file and load it into our database, and then once I have the data and do something with that. So LangChain will do that. Similarly, it comes with a tool called output parser. So the LLMs provide output in a text format. It can provide in JSON format. It provides, as we saw in our application, it provides output in markdown format. So LangChain again comes with output parser. It will take the data from LLM and it can parse it for us. So we don't have to worry about parsing and going through each and every format and write code to parse it. So not reinventing the wheel. Another very big advantage of using LangChain is it helps us build agenting applications. So building agents, which is nowadays for every complex application, agentic frameworks or agentic applications are pretty common. And it basically makes your application autonomous. So it makes decision using LLM's reasoning power. Nowadays, LLMs are improving day by day and their reasoning capabilities are growing. So that capability is harnessed by these agents, and basically they will work on themselves. Kind of think of in fiction movies, you have seen that robots can think. So it's not at that level, but it's going in that direction where using the reasoning capability of LLMs, agents can make decisions and execute code or call APIs or do things automatically. So you do not have to write the logic for that. That's whole about different topic, which we'll cover maybe I think after 3-4 videos. So we'll be covering agentic framework and how LangChain will help us with that. So this is the high level what our application is built upon, and these two things which are highlighted in orange color, these are something new basically. So we have already seen what LLM is in the second video, and these are two components that we'll be exploring next. So in order to build this application, what do we need to know, right? So obviously we are writing, our language of choice is Python. So as I explained in video 1, that it is a prerequisite that you need to know a bit of Python. You need not be an expert in it, but you should be very familiar with the language and all the basic construct and logic you should be able to build. So if you're not very comfortable with Python, then there are n number of resources available on the net, on the YouTube. You can check it out. Couple of them I provided in the video 1. So you can check that out as well. It's pretty easy to pick up. So Python is definitely something we need to know. So this is, I consider that we already have it, right? Then LLM concepts. What is LLM? What they do? How their messages look like? What is an API? And how can we connect with them and make them produce output what we want? So these kind of concepts, right? And what are different providers and what are the difference between different type of LLMs? There is open source, there are frontier models. So these things we have already discussed in video 2. So if you haven't checked that, then please go back, and the link is in the description below, so you can go and check it out. So these two things I consider we already know. Now LangChain and Gradio. Now these two things probably we have not covered, and these two components are being used as part of building blocks in our application, and these are the ones we are going to tackle next. Now we have seen our working application, what it does and how it looks. We know how it is built, the building blocks and the very high level design components. Then we have seen what we need to know in order to build it. So two already we have checked, these two we have to do. So starting from next two videos, this is what we are going to cover, and then following video will have the full walkthrough of how we build this application using all these components. That's going to be exciting. So see you there, and I hope you are enjoying the videos. So please do share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you there soon. Okay, thank you. Bye.